Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Javihari.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama Hare Rama
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 Hare
Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
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 Shri
Shri
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari
Haribo,
Bol, Hari
Haribo,
Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari.
Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskrityam
Narayana
Namaskrityam
Namaskritam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva
Narayana
Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim
Devim
Saraswati
Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirahe
Tato Jayamudirahe.
Jayamudire
Nashtaprayashu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayashu
Nashtamayashu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavate
Bhagavata
Sevaya.
Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavate
Bhagavati
Uttama Sloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, text number 12 of the chapter 7. In conversation, this is a very, very important chapter. We should take it as one of the most important chapters of Bhagavatam because a lot of things gets revealed here. This is son of Drona, Ashwatthama is being punished. Number 12, Parikshito Rajarishe Janma Karma Vilapanam Samstha Ja Panduputrana Vakshe Krishna Katodayam. A translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Suta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Saunaka. Now I shall begin the translated narration of Lord Shri Krishna and the topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the king among the sages, the sage among the kings, as well as the topics of the renunciation of the worldly orders of the sons of Pandu. Purport. Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen souls that he personally incarnates himself among the different kinds of living entities and takes part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which has a connection with the activities of the Lord, is to be understood as a transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the acts, supplementary literatures like the Puranas and the Mahabharata are simply stories or historical facts. But with Krishna, they become transcendental. And when we hear of them, we at once become transcendentally related with the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is also a Purana, but the special significance of this Purana is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical facts. Srimad Bhagavatam is thus recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana. There is a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Purana who decides to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated in the 10th canto without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impression that the other cantos are not concerned with Krishna, and thus more foolishly than intelligently they take to the reading of the 10th canto. These readers are specifically today told here that in the other cantos of the Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go to the matter of the 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purpose of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and his pure devotees, like the Pandavas, are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas. The pure devotees, like the Pandavas, are not without Krishna. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or topics of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmiritamena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Staptamena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadami Yandadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadagamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakjatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Se Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinamanta Jagatpade Gopish Gopika Ganta Radha Ganta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanasute Devi Pranamami Hripriya Vanchakalpatarvasya Kupasandebhya Vicha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavibhya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Prashnaya Mutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharani Vishesha Shunga Devasa Devastarane Kankarati Vachalam Pangalangai Gremet Kapatam Munde Shri Guru Nindan Paramanand Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nirachala Nivasa Nitya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Jagannatha Namo Namah Hari Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 12. Translation. Suta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by the Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of Lord Shri Krishna on the topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage among the kings, as well as the topics of renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu. Thank you all for joining today morning for the Sunday morning program. I presumably think that only 12 people are here. I don't know what happened to the rest. Many of them are not seen here. Saturday and Sunday are our battery charging sessions. If you don't do that, you are not going to last for long. And it is mandatory. Prabhupada said that Mangalarti is mandatory. Darshanarti is mandatory. Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is mandatory for us to read. And continuously chanting the holy names of the Lord is mandatory. But if someone is not willing to take part in spite of some kind of a physical inebrities, that itself shows there is a lack or the weak of constitutional thoughts which is going through their mind, and that needs to be addressed. It's very, very important. I will definitely make note and send a message across to everyone. But Srimad Bhagavatam is a mandatory exercise for all of us. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Here, Prabhupada is giving a very, very clear message in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. All pastimes of the Lord are divine, right? Because of the Lord's presence, it is divine. Otherwise, it's simply a storybook. As Krishna is there, then it becomes a transcendental storybook or a transcendental pastime. Otherwise, it's not. Similarly, there are some set of people, Prabhupada explains, even though they are called a class of devotees, maybe something like a Sahajias, they want, or they say that what we have got to do with the narration of a Kurukshetra battle, right? Because Krishna was there in the Bali Leela, in Vrindavan, in Govardhan, in the Mathura, all those areas. After that, he moved to Mathura, and then from there, Mathura, he went to Dwarka. So they are more inclined to know all the different pastimes, like how Krishna's pastimes in the Vraj is more important than any other things, because Krishna just came here and he did other things also. It's of no mandatory usage for us. We got nothing to do with that. Krishna's activities with the gopis, Krishna's activities when he was here in Vraj is more important. That's not correct. Because Prabhupada says that every activity of the Lord is divine, transcendental, divyam. That is why it said that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Yevam Yo Veti Tatvataha. Those who are advanced, they know Krishna's dancing with the gopis, Krishna's having the leela of that nature, or Krishna being the leader of the battlefield at Kurukshetra is all the same. There is no difference. Because he is the Supreme Lord. He is an absolute, just like how we do services. Someone is serving by cleaning the kitchen, someone is doing the cooking, someone is doing the book distribution, someone is helping someone else making a garland for the Lord, or someone is greeting the devotees. All are on absolute plane. There is no difference. Krishna is so kind that he is personally taking it upon him to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. So he personally incarnates himself among the different kinds of various living entities he created. Krishna did not take birth in this. He only incarnated. Because incarnation is completely different from birth. We all take birth. We have to go through the process of birth, death, old age, and disease. Again, once again, birth. And that birth has to go through mothers, different mothers, different fathers. But Krishna's divinity is completely absolute. There is no way anyone can challenge it or question it. That's why he incarnates. And then he takes care of everything which is needed in order to deliver these fallen conditioned souls. So why does he come here? He comes for two reasons, which we all know, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bhavat. Then he also comes here basically to deliver the sadhus, deliver the miscreants, deliver the asuras, give the pleasure to the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashachaya dushkritam. Even though he is with all the living entities, but he is above the modes of material nature. That cannot be wanted because he is the Lord of the material nature. Right? Narayana Paravyaktat. He is above the consequences which we all go through, which is not applicable to the Supreme Lord. Because he is the owner of everything. Thus, Suta Goswami actually wants to explain, after the sages explained their feelings, their thoughts, they came out with these 6 questions, right? All the sages consolidated everything and started asking these 6 questions. Now, one of the questions is, what is the relationship between Pandu's sense of renunciation to Krishna's activities? This looks a little bit, if you have deep dived into Bhagavatam, you will really understand it. Because why will anyone mention about the renunciation? You've seen the translation, Prabhupada explains this, right? What does Prabhupada says here in the translation? Lord Krishna and the topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sages among the kings, as well as the topics of renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu. Krishna is so keen that he includes everyone in his pastimes, in his Leela. He doesn't want to be the one who wants to always be in the limelight. He will push his devotees to be in the limelight. So that's the purity here. You can understand that. Krishna and his pure devotees are always on the same plane. They cannot be separated. Krishna will never be seen alone. He is always with some devotees or the other of different rasas. 5 types of rasas. Krishna is always there with every one of them in their different rasas. So the pure devotees are always thinking of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always thinking about his pure devotees. They are interlinked. They cannot be separated. Therefore, every single topics or every single talks which we connect with Krishna, we also connect with the devotees of the Lord. That is why this is Krishna Katha Amritam, right? Nectar. So recently someone vaguely asked me this question. What does it make to be a successful devotee? Is it like knowing the pastimes of the Lord, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, reading stories, reading Mahabharata, reading Bhagavad Gita, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam? So many points they put it across. If the person completes read and he becomes philosophically strong, do you consider him as a successful devotee? Answer is no. But all answers, whatever has been mentioned here and there by different viewpoints of the devotees, lead to one success story of an individual devotee. There are many, many successful devotees also. We have so many seen, we have so many wonderful devotees who have been successful in this world as devotees are there in our organization, which is what stands as the best practices and standards that we should follow. So, but however, one point or 2 points stood very, very vividly. One of the points is the pridelessness. You need to learn the art of being prideless. You should not be proud. You should have an humble attitude. You should be appreciative of the thoughts that anything, everything which is coming your way is actually you are not qualified. You have been made qualified or you have been made eligible to get to that level by someone else. These thoughts are very, very extremely important. So that person who carries all this in their heart, that they are not so easily achieved, but they are not so ready for it, but being made qualified by someone else, that person will definitely become successful. You see, Hanumanji was proud to reach Lanka and return to Ram. But Lord Ram did not want to see Hanuman with that kind of proud, right? What did he do? Ram was very calm. He didn't express or open his mouth. But Hanuman was so humble. He just mentioned, "Oh Lord, by your grace, I was able to overcome the obstacles by jumping the 100 yojanas and go successfully and return by seeing Sita Maya, so that you are connected with her eternally. That's my humble offering to your lotus feet." See the humble nature. Even though Hanuman must have been very proud because he was the only monkey who could jump, but he never had that thought. Similarly, Sudama Vipra. We are seeing all this in Bhagavatam stories, Ramayana stories, Mahabharata stories. We are seeing all these things. Sudama Vipra again is a very beautiful, very eternal, humble, dear friend of the Lord from the Gurukul times. If Sudama Vipra did not show the humble nature, he would have never been the Lord of three worlds. By one mouth of poha, one mouth of chip rice, he conquered the wealth of the entire world. What to speak of this? Even in the contemporary periods, we are seeing that great devotees like King Kulashekar, right? He was he was a king. He is not some normal human, right? To be a king itself is a blessing by the Lord. It is not that simply someone is made a king, but they should use their good office. Here is a situation where Sudama Vipra was so humble. He said that I am not qualified to even bring anything because I don't have anything. I am just here at your Lotus feet. In the same way, King Kulashekar, Prabhupada explains beautifully about the Kulashekar Alvar. And so many songs Prabhupada sings very many times. One beautiful song he says is Krishna Todyapada Pankaja Pancharanta. That feeling of love in King Kulashekar is unmatched, unparalleled. How did it come? He was not proud as a king. He was humble as a devotee. He showed that attitude in such a manner that the Lord bestowed his blessings on him in a most um, unlimited manner, that he could achieve success in all the 9 angas of bhakti. That is what is a success of a devotee. Here we have a connection with that pridelessness, humble attitude, appreciative of the thoughts that everything and anything which is coming our way is because that someone else has made us eligible to accept that mercy. Right? It's not going back to Godhead is the only success. Pleasing the spiritual master is the highest. Krishna is pleased when when we do something, if that doing something pleases the spiritual master, pleases the senior Vaishnavas, pleases the representative of the spiritual masters who are actually instructing us to do so. Why? Because truths are not found in the books or in the visuals or in the YouTubes or in the videos or in the shorts. It is from that emotional connect that these great devotees, like the spiritual master, representative of the spiritual master, Shiksha Gurus, Diksha Gurus, The great devotees who have actually been meditating on how to deliver the fallen conditioned souls, that emotional connect that they have with the spiritual master and with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, that love, the eagerness to serve the Lord, the eagerness to give something to this fallen conditioned souls so that they can get elevated and move to the next level of their spiritual growth and the plans and thoughts and journey, that truth will get revealed, right? When we had a chance to ask Asit Maharaj, Asit Krishna Maharaj is our temple president in Govardhan, uh, in our Bhaktivedanta ashram. He's a temple president, he's a spiritual master, he's a very great devotee. And when he explained, when we asked this question, that we come to Dham, go to different places, sometimes we feel that we need some kind of a private time with ourselves. And how do we go to these different wonderful pastime places? Sometimes we will not have the energy, we cannot come out of the place, we are in England. So how do we reveal, how do we get these revelations? How do we understand? So Maharaj said the most important thing is to meditate on the holy names. We should chant the holy names. We should follow the regulatory principles. We should do everything which is being given to us by Srila Prabhupada. And then when we start meditating on these things, automatically the pastimes get revealed. Hence, we see that there is no need for us to push ourselves to something which we are honestly not in that place. Sometimes we feel that, no, I want to do this, I want to do that, I can do this, I can do that. That kind of an attitude is only built in the mode of passion. When you are built up in the mode of passion, everything around you looks that everything is being done by me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Krishna says that. We did not say that. So that's his copyrights. Matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samvita. Krishna said these words. We did not have a chance to even encourage or explain that I did this, I did this. It's because of me I can do. We cannot even sustain one small toothache. How will we be able to do so many things? There is no place for rebellious nature in the spiritual world. There is no place for rebellious attitude in the spiritual practice. The simple program Srila Prabhupada gave us is very evident. It's already there. Why? Because we were a rebel. We are a rebel. We should accept that truth. Hence, we are stuck here in this world. And we are still here. And we are not able to come to any conclusions. Still, even after we come back, come somehow by the costless mercy of so many devotees, it's a big team which is working behind us to make us to be in Krishna consciousness. Even if we are a rebel, where else will we go? We don't have a place to go. Spiritual world, spiritual activities are the only option available to us. We cannot rebel at all because we are rebellious, and because of that, we've been put in this material world and we are struggling with the three modes of material nature and the four inevitability of birth, death, old age, and disease. Spiritual life is extremely difficult with so many difficulties thrown on us. We want to chant, but we are unable to chant. We wanted to be with the devotees. We are unable to be with the devotees. We wanted to study Srila Prabhupada books somehow or the other. The things are on so bad that we are not able to study Srila Prabhupada books. These are all difficulties, extremely difficult. But material world, material activities are impossible. Krishna confirms this in the Gita. It's not easy. Here you see in this great sages are showing such a brilliant, humble nature. The nature itself is so humble. They are not bothered about the demanding. Their questions are so unique. Their questions are so pleasing that without any force, they are humbly submitting themselves. Right? They are not being, you have to answer this question, you have to do this, you better do it. No, their attitude is so humble. That made Suta Goswami to address the Rishi said by the Shaunaka. He said, okay, now I shall start the transcendental narration of Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Topics of his birth, topic of his activities, and also how Parikshit Maharaj was delivered, and how the thoughts of relinquishing everything which Emperor Yudhishthira Maharaj had in this world. He is the emperor of the entire world, and the Pandavas, the five brothers. They just left it like a drop of a hat and said, okay, I am done with this world. I've got nothing because Krishna is not anymore. I am going to start meditating on the Supreme Lord. That should be the attitude of a devotee. The devotee cannot at any given point of time showcase like a snake does. Prabhupada explains in very many places this example that the snakes are waiting. What are the snakes compared to? The senses. The senses of our own. All the panchendriyas, they are readily waiting. When do I pounce on the object of sense? When you start meditating on all these things, start understanding that there is higher purpose in life. Param drishta nivartate. When you know that this is where you are going to go to the next level. Otherwise, there is no growth. There is no path. There is no activities. There is just simply doing the same thing again and again. I am also a devotee. I am also a very great devotee. Who did that? There was a person who said this. I am the greatest of all devotees of Lord Shiva. Ravana. He was there, Hanuman was there. And when Hanuman said, I am a simple, humble servant of Lord Shiva, he said, Ravana said, we are only a simple, humble servant, no, go to the side. I am the greatest of all devotees of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva pointed out the figures to Parvati and said, look at the attitude. Both are devotees of mine, but what an attitude Hanumanji has, Ravana doesn't have. He is selfish. Hanuman is not selfless. He is completely selfless. He is not selfish. He only wants to serve others. See the attitude. See the same attitude which you perform yourself. In every activity do in your own house. Charity begins at home. When we start doing all these things in our own home, you will actually see how better you will evolve yourself as a devotee. The way in which you approach to ask the questions, way in which you approach to talk to your wife or talk to your husband, way in which you are dealing with your children, dealing with other devotees. That's how relationships are built. That's how the relationship and the bondage is existing. Not with pride, not with aggressive attitude, not with a feeling that I am the doer. No, these are not qualities of a devotee at all. Yasya bhaktir bhagavat takinchana gunashtatre samasta suraha. Prabhupada explains this. We need to get those qualities of the suras. We don't want the qualities of asuras. So, Sura's quality is this. What is the difference between a devotee or a devata and a demon? Only one attitude. They are simply subservient to whatever Krishna says, Vishnu says. They won't question. Even though they may disagree, but they say, okay, Krishna, you are told, that's it. I have got nothing to do with it. Whatever you have said is for our own well-being. We will just follow. That kind of an attitude should come with all of us. We should first accept that surrender. Krishna expects that surrender. Krishna doesn't want to see you face to face. Impossible. Almost next to impossible, I would say. We as living entities, we are Nitya Baddhas, not a Nitya Siddha. To see Krishna and talk to him in direct face to face. We are Nitya Baddhas, eternally created to be fallen so much. But costless grace of Lord Chaitanya, costless grace of the Supreme Lord himself, that he incarnates in different species to just simply pick up us and put us in a right pedestal where we can practice our spiritual practice and go back to God. When he shows, how does he show? Show the temple nature. This meekness should come. This attitude should be built in. We should start learning it, how to go about. Don't do it falsely, but practice it. Slowly, slowly. It's not going to be a one-day stand. It is a lifetime effort, lifetime investment. We have to start building up. It is not going to come that, okay, I'm going to be humble today. And tomorrow morning, as soon as you don't find your shoes, and you shout out to your wife and say, where's my shoes? Yesterday I kept it here, someone has taken and gone. And the wife will say, why are you asking me? It is your shoes. No, go and fetch it yourself. And the wife stays in between the children's bounds and say, where's my breakfast? I don't have the breakfast. I'm getting late for the school. And then what happens? The mother is so much in paranoia and says, no breakfast today. Eat whatever you can. Otherwise, go and take something and go off. Right? See, in one moment time, the wonderful world of Krishna consciousness just fell like a cards pack. This can happen to a devotee's life. Don't expect things for granted. We are taking a lot of things for granted, including our spiritual life. We are taking things for granted. Believe my words, the spiritual life is walking on razor's edge. Any moment, we will just simply by making one offense, we will simply get shocked. The cut is so fine, we will not even know that there is a cut and it started bleeding. That is spiritual fine. If your spiritual life has to be healthy, you need to protect your bhakti creeper. For protecting this bhakti creeper, no one is going to come and give kind of advice. You say, okay, Bhagavatam, read Bhagavatam and go, Bhagavad Gita, read and go, Chaitanya Charitamrita, read and go, be with the devotee, standing four regulatory principles and chanting 16 rounds. These are not going to matter. These are essentials, Sainsbury basics. No one is going to come and tell us all these things. This is natural. If you honestly want to be a devotee of the Lord, you better start learning these things as by default. But what is it that you need to deep dive into? Cultivate qualities which are very, very difficult to fetch. This is what Krishna would love to. Krishna wants to see all of us this. The moment Krishna sees this, he will bring a lot of purification, lot of happiness in your life, and you will see that nature, the way in which you deal with people, that way in which you build up the relationship, the way in which you are actually going to know more and more about the Supreme Lord will get just simply revealed. That is available to us. Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. This won't come just simply like that. Now we are in Nam, Bas. We are chanting, but what we are chanting? Hey, 1 minute, yeah. I'm just checking my phone. A WhatsApp message. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Record a message. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is at this point of time. Are we able to sit one set, 16 rounds finish? Prabhupada ji Prabhupada wanted us to complete the 16 rounds. So are we able to? How many times we check the WhatsApp message or Facebook message or whatever message on the phone? The phone is always next to us all the time. Right? But where is the love? Krishna wants your love. Krishna doesn't want your iPhone. Krishna doesn't want anything else. He just wants your pure love. The holy names is the only key factor and the instrument for that love. Our gatheration is only through the holy names. Then Rupa will get revealed. Then Guna will get revealed. Then Leela will get revealed. We have a long way to go. But let's start somewhere. That starting somewhere is shown by the sages of Naimisharanya. How humble and meek they are. They're showing so much. They are all extraordinarily brilliant in philosophy. They are phenomenal. You cannot touch their armor. They have got everything what they want. They are perfect devotees, if you so called. They are perfect devotees. That's why they've been revealed this Bhagavatam. But still they showed that humble nature, asking Sutta Goswami through Shaunakrishi, that please, we beg that at your lotus feet, that reveal to us Krishna's pastimes. Reveal to us how Parikshit Maharaj was delivered. Reveal to us that is most important for us, that how did the sons of Pandus, who are the emperors of the entire globe, have just left everything without even a call of back just leaving like a drop of hat, and then they walked off for renunciation. They went towards Badri. But then why did they leave it? They were sitting in Indraprastha, the entire world's capital, not some India capital. Entire globe was ruled by them. That is the power of Krishna consciousness, which that's got revealed to them. No lust, no greed, no false ego, no anger, no envy, no pride. They simply left everything at one drop of an hat and then they just walked on. So please reveal to us. So we're going to read more and more, deeper and deeper, understand more and more thoughts, more and more factual learnings from the Srimad Bhagavatam further verses. But here is a very good situation for us to actually meditate how to become more humble, how to build up a good, beautiful, sweet relationship, loving relationship. Letter of instruction explains that. Dadati pratigrunnati guhyamakyati prachati bhunte bhote teva shadvidi priti lakshanam. 6 beautiful qualities which a loving devotee shares with another loving devotee. That has to come into place, not in just the book. Oh, Prabhuji, I know the verse. I can just simply mug and vomit. No, these are for us to learn. These are for us to absorb. These are for us to practice. These are for us to show it to others and they can practice. If you start practicing it, automatically the other person is going to follow you because they are seeing that that's good. That's changing their heart. There is a positive, significant synergy in that. And that's needed for all of us. So let's try that. Let's give it a shot. Practice it. Let's practice it. Not just one person. When I say it to you, I also need to practice. Others, that's why I'm saying. But when I'm saying to you, when you practice, I'll also get that energy, the synergy. Oh, good. This devotee is practicing. I should also see the same way how this devotee's dealings are. Because when you start fighting with others, when you start talking ill about others, when you start making offenses to others, your creeper is not going to grow. It's going to dwindle. It's just a matter of time. Your bhakti will go off. Once the bhakti is gone, where are we going to stay? Not with the devotees. You'll go back to the pool of material world. Moment you go into the pool of material world, what is going to happen? Lust, greedy, false ego, anger, envy, pride, which will follow you. And where are you going? Away from God, away from Krishna. And you can't go back to God. That is why we are stuck here as a rebel. So let's not do that. Let's overcome that by some or the other, by Krishna's grace, by the devotees' blessings, by the spiritual masters. So many wonderful team of people, Vaishnavas, they are sitting for us. They are pushing us. Come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. I'm here to support. I'm here to support. That's why we see that not many devotees take up that kind of amount of respect and religiously they are going to chant the 16 rounds. They don't want to commit. Sometimes the difficulties for the devotees to commit, but sometimes the devotees try to chant, but they are not able to go further because all these anarthas are sticking closely in us. We have to overcome it. Let's put it a point, full stop today. No more touching the Srimad Bhagavatam, no more touching the chanting beats with my phone next to me. We will keep the phone away for 1 hour, 45 minutes. That's pure private time between me and the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Because I came alone in this world. I have to go out of this world alone. Let me build up that relationship of humble and meek. I'll stop here. You have any questions anyone has? This is the purport of this particular shloka, but there is more to it, which will eventually come over one at a time, because it's a long pastimes which is going to come, because this is only a start of Ashwatthama being punished by the Pandavas. Yes, Rupavilas Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Saran Prabhu, next to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful lecture, Prabhu. Prabhuji, in the lecture you mentioned about a King Kulashekar.
King Kulashekar.
Yeah, and you talked about some poems as well Prabhupada has written.
Yes.
Prabhuji, who is this king, Prabhu, and what time he was present and
He
what
was
all
present a few years, few centuries ago. He's a king of South India. And Prabhupada explains this particular verse, and also he uses a lot of. He is a poet. He is not only a poet; he is a great devotee. He is a saintly king. So if you search for the name King Kulashekar, you will get all the details on how Prabhupada explained. Even though he being the king, he could practice all the 9 angas of bhakti. You know the 9 angas of bhakti, right? Right?
Yes,
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all these things. He could achieve each and everything and he could tick the box as I am successful. But he was very humble and very, very meek and very dedicated to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet and his representatives. So you can read more about it, about King Kulashekar.
sure. Thank you.
Saranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for this class. Prabhu, one question.
Hmm.
Mention about Alvar. I don't know what is that, what it is.
Alvars are the saintly devotees of the Supreme Lord. There are 12 Alvars and there is also 9 Mars. 9 Mars are actually the followers of Lord Shiva. Alvars are the followers of Lord Vishnu. So you can consider them as one of the paraphernalias of the Lord. Like for example, what we call it as ray, right? Ray of Vishnu. Have you heard this word called ray of Vishnu? Means one amsha. Amsha means a finest particle of the Supreme Lord personally himself. For example, the Lord's bell, right? See, in the spiritual world, everyone is a person. It's a personality. Bell is a person, sword is a person, Krishna's bow is a person, right? And Krishna's crown is a person. Everyone is a person because they are personalities. Like Sudarshan. We see Sudarshan as like a wooden stick or wooden plank or something like that. No, but Sudarshan is a personality. He is the most powerful weapon in the entire cosmos. But he is a person because he is personally serving the Supreme Lord. Just like Krishna is a person, all these devotees are also persons. So, like that, for example, Bell is an incarnation of Vedanta Deshika, right? So, it's explained in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya that there are 12 Alvars, those who are the proponents of the bhakti of Sri Vaishnavism. So they all come in, like for example, the sword of the Lord. The sword of the Lord is called Saranga. Is it correct? Okay, you don't know about it. I'll give it as a homework for you. Do the research and come back. And then ask me the questions. Like for example, the bow of the Lord, the disc of the Lord, the Shankha, the conch of the Lord, they're all persons. So everyone has taken a form or they have taken the birth to promote Bhakti tradition, Bhakti movement. So they are called Alvars. Alvars are also called servants of Lord Vishnu. King Kulashekar, Kulashekar Alvar. That's why we do by respect. Just like our Srila Prabhupada, we don't call Prabhupada, right? What we say? Srila Prabhupada. Abhay Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because he is taking the honorific titler from his spiritual master and he wants to serve. That's all it is.
Prabhu, so is this title 12? So we have 12 Alvars, and is this title given to anyone or there is?
No. It cannot be given by anyone. Cannot be given to anyone. This titular is not titular. Its titular is formally because it comes from the rays of Vishnu, the Amsha of the Lord. Lord, this is little higher philosophy, but I'll just give you a small statement. Krishna has two ways of expanding himself. One is called Swa Amsha, right? The other one is called Vibhinna Amsha. Swamsha means Krishna himself coming as Krishna. Then Vibhinamsha means Krishna is empowering someone to become his representative. Like for example, Prabhupada is a Sakti Avesha avatar. all the devotees have empowered Srila Prabhupada to glorify the Supreme Lord and the message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world. Because that place is full of void and nirvishesha and shunyavad, impersonal in thoughts, and there is no personality, there is no personal aspect, there is no concept of love. It was more of lust. So Prabhupada had to come to the West to express, explain, and establish all the three. What he wanted to explain and express and establish? The love of God. So that is why Swabhamsha, Vibhinamsha. So Shakti Avash Avatar. He's been empowered, responsible representative of the Supreme Lord. That's how it's explained. It's not given to everyone. Okay?
So Alvar comes into the category of Vibhinamsha. So
Yes. Alvars also come under the category of Vibhinamsha. Alvars also come under the category of Swamsha to a little extent. Because Krishna himself is revealing to the different devotees. Because for Krishna, everything is absolute. His word is absolute as him. His conch is absolute as him. His disc is absolute as him. But they are all revealed personalities. That is not much clear in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Because this comes from the Sri Vaishnavism.
okay.
We have 4 sampradayas, no?
Yeah.
You know the 4 sampradayas?
Sri,
Yeah. Sri is Sri Vaishnavism. It's coming from Mahalakshmi, right? So that's where the Alvars are connected. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we are good. Okay. Message has come. I don't know what it's. Oh, nothing else. Okay. All right. We'll stop here. Granthada Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Sevaradha Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Sita Premanande Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
This guy is Vishal Gauranga Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanchita Prabhu, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.